Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Wrestling News and Commentary. I am your host, Josh. This is the Stomping Grounds recap for 6/23/2019. Welcome to the show. We're going to go over everything that took place tonight. We're going to get through the matches, go through everything, give you guys a little bit of what I thought about the match, about the matchups, what I thought about it as a as a pay-per-view in total. But first and foremost, what I really want to get to right off the bat, you guys, this is going to be kind of a bit of a tugger. If you notice, John isn't on with me tonight. John's had to step back. Nothing wild, nothing crazy. Just a simple issue. One, I don't know if you caught a couple shows back. I said special needs require special attention. So, you know, John and me, we go so far back we can't even remember how far. We've been watching wrestling, growing up watching wrestling together our entire lives. And we came up with the concept for this entire show approximately a year ago. So it's taken us a while just to get to this point. However, what a lot of people don't know is that John's also a single father. And, you know, he's got 2 kids. One of those kids happens to be autistic. Now, John, I know I'm spewing a little bit of information. I know you're out there watching. However, I just I didn't feel any bad reasons to put this out there. When you're a, you know, single dad of a regular child, that's one thing. When you're a single dad of 2 kids, that's another thing. When you're a dad of one that's special needs and another one that is perfectly fine, that's a whole nother topic. It's a whole nother ball game. That's a whole nother sport. Most people in the world will never ever be able to understand what you have to go through, what the process is. And it's tough because one, you know, requires all your attention, but yet the other one also needs your attention. It's a really, really difficult scenario. With that said, he's had to take a step back, mainly because this show takes a lot of time. Well, even though we're not on, you know, as often as other shows, this show requires a lot of attention. It you know, especially our Saturday show, it takes literally all week long to watch and write and decide what we're going to talk about, how we're going to talk about it, things of that nature. It takes a lot of time. So it's easier for him to basically do what we always have done, just talk. And through those points, we're going to create topic points. I'm going to come on, I'm going to give them to you. And that's going to be his contribution. In the future, he may grab some moments here and there where he can actually join me on the show and go from there. It's super welcomed. I totally get it. I totally understand. And I hope everybody out there that's watching the show gets it as well. You know, it's really just not an easy situation being in the scenario that he is in. I challenge anybody to go out there and give this a shot and see if you succeed, because honestly, he's a hero in his own right, and I definitely wish him the best in the future, because, you know, I care about those kids just as much as I care about my own, and that's just kind of the way it is. So I wanted to get that knocked off my chest first and foremost, so you guys kind of get an understanding of why there's some changes on the show, why John's not here. John's still my dictionary, my thesaurus, and my history of wrestling and my knowledge. So at the end of the day, he's still going to play a part in the show, but I'm going to kick him back that time that he needs to do what he needs to do as a father. So, John, if you're out there, if you're watching, if you're listening, dude, no worries. I got this, and I'm going to do the absolute best I can to keep this show going and what we talked about and we'll see you when you can, yeah? All right, let's get to it, you guys. Stomping Grounds. First, right off the bat, right off the gate, I have to say, great show. They did a great show. Finally, we got a good pay-per-view. I got to give them credit for this one. They did an absolute wonderful job. The kickoff show featured Drew Gulak, defeated Tony Nese and Akira Tozawa to win the WWE Cruiserweight Championship. That was the absolute only, sorry for my phone, the only kickoff match there was tonight. And as a huge shocker in my book, right off the bat, we had Lacey Evans versus Becky Lynch for the Women's Raw title. Lacey Evans lost. Becky Lynch wound up winning. Very botched. There was actually a part in this match where Becky Lynch was supposed to go for a springboard back kick. Totally missed it. They went for it anyway. The crowd completely and utterly booed Lacey Evans. And to be quite honest with you, I didn't see the mistake there for Lacey Evans. What I saw was Becky moving too fast. And she didn't give Lacey enough time to sell the last move. That's a big thing going forward in this sport right now. As the pace of these matches come up, the sell factor, the ability to sell a move, they're not getting enough time to sell the move. It's supposed to be a devastating move, and then it winds up becoming just a back at it. Oh, I got hit back at it, and it's not enough. Wrestling is supposed to tell a story inside and out of the ring. So when it comes to the issue between Lacey and Becky, Becky was actually the one that kind of biffed that, I believe. So. But anyway, at the end of the day, Becky Lynch went over. She retained her title, and moving forward, the next match of the night was Sami Zayn KO Big E versus Xavier Woods. This was a good match. All three of these guys put on a killer match. Good job, guys. KO and Sami Zayn actually went over, and they went over legitimately, and that was a good match. Great match. Next match was Ricochet versus Samoa Joe for the United States Championship. Also a very, very good match. Ricochet, in a big shocker, actually went over Samoa Joe and won the United States Championship. Good on Ricochet. He has been putting in the work. They've been giving him airtime, and he's been doing absolutely everything he can with it, and they rewarded him for it. Next matchup, Heavy Machinery versus Daniel Bryan and Rowan. And let me tell you guys something. I know Heavy Machinery catches a lot of slack, but holy crap. These guys, they put on a hell of a show. Daniel Bryan didn't have to do much. I mean, they really did a good job. Dozer caught Rowan in midair. I mean, Rowan's a big dude. He's like 6'5", and he got caught in midair and slammed to the ground. Dude, these guys, if they can keep entertaining folks the way they did in this particular match, and these guys, you can tell that they really have a pride for the old school. I mean, anybody that actually mimics the Bushwhackers has a lot of balls, and then he kind of had like this. They had this kind of Hulk Hogan feel, and it was really cool, and it was very nostalgic, and they did a really good job. I'm going to give them credit for this match. it was for the tag team championships, SmackDown tag team championships. Daniel Bryan and Rowan did eventually go over, and great tag team match. I got to give them that. The next match here was Bayley. Obviously, this was for the SmackDown Women's title. It was Bayley, Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross in her corner, and it kind of was what it was. I mean, welcome back, Alexa Bliss. Alexa Bliss did not win. Bayley went over, and it was a good match. Nikki didn't interfere that much. She did get involved somewhat, but nothing extreme. Match went over. I wasn't that excited for this particular match, and Bayley won. Moving on, we had Roman Reigns versus the Scottish psychopath, Drew McIntyre. I kind of have a thing with these type of matches. And basically, Drew McIntyre had Shane McMahon on his side. And Shane got involved damn near the whole entire match. And at the end of the day, Roman went over. And we were pretty certain that this was going to be it. Now we can finally move on from this and get a different match. Later in the night, it shows Drew and Shane in the back, and Drew's pretty pissed. There's an interview going on, or they wanted to interview Drew. Next thing you know, Shane grabs the camera and says, "Look, you think this is over, Roman? You're going to have a handicap match tomorrow versus Drew McIntyre and me," and hence it continues. I have a feeling this is going to lead up to a Shane McMahon Roman Reigns match. I think Roman's still going to go over, but anyway. Next match of the night, Kofi versus Dolph. Good cage match. It wasn't the greatest I've ever seen, but they put on one hell of a show. It ended with Dolph almost kind of halfway hanging out of the door of the cage, and out of nowhere, Kofi gets up, runs, and dives over Dolph Ziggler to be the first one to have his 2 feet touch, and he won. Decent match. Next match of the night, you had Seth Rollins and Baron Corbin with Lacey Evans as the guest referee. I think the setup, once he said Lacey Evans, I knew immediately what the setup was going to be. This is obviously not done. And between Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch. It's as a lot of folks know, they announced that Becky and Seth are dating, and Seth was literally taking everybody out with Chair 316, and ended up saying in the middle of the ring that he was going to basically still give whoever decided to be the guest referee the same treatment, and then he announced Lacey Evans, and Seth's not going to hit a girl. Match goes on, and they basically, obviously, everything that Baron did, she was on top of. Everything that Seth did, she had her back turned, or she was super slow. She changed the match to a no count out match because Seth power bombed him through Baron through the announcer table. Then she changed it to a no DQ match so Baron Corbin can proceed to bring out my new friend, Chair 316, and proceed to beat the hell out of him. And then her and Seth end up going face to face because Seth winds up starting to get on top and looks like he's going to win, and she just will not count out Baron and give him the 1, 2, 3, and so he's getting in her face. she's talking smack. She ends up smacking the hell out of him, smacks him again. He turns around, starts going after Baron again, and when he turns around, she basically low blows him right in the dick. Next thing you know, Becky Lynch comes out, beats the holy piss out of her. 2 new refs come out, and Baron calls in one of the refs so he can try to do the count out. Seth winds up kicking him in the gut, winds up giving him the curb stomp, and that's how Seth Rollins retains the WWE Universal Championship, and him and Becky celebrate in the middle of the ring together. She smacks him on the ass. She's the man, so she actually holds the rope for him to get out, which was kind of comical because, I don't know what to say about that. But, however, that was basically the end. Overall, it was a really good show. I was impressed. I actually liked this show better than I did WrestleMania. I kind of feel like they put a lot of thought into this one. There was a lot of twists. There was a lot of turns. There's some matches that need to piss off, which is Drew McIntyre and Roman and Shane. That whole thing needs to go away. Lacey Evans and Becky Lynch, they either need to give Lacey the title or she needs to take a hike and start a feud somewhere else, because it's just not, it's pretty much dropped its course at this point. There's other women involved. I don't know if they're waiting on Sasha or what. One big surprise to me, they did not bring out what's his name? I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on this one. Bray Wyatt. They didn't bring out Bray Wyatt. I don't know what they're doing here. I mean, maybe they're going to bring out Bray tomorrow. I mean, I don't know how much longer I could take these stupid little shows. I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I tune into WWE to watch wrestling. Watch them fight. Watch them, physically assault each other. I'm not sitting here wanting to watch the stupid sideshow stuff. It's just not for me. It's entertaining for a little bit. It's entertaining if it's involved with the storyline, but there is no storyline. This is all character build, and it's gotten a little old. So hopefully they bring him out for a brand new storyline. We'll see. I have heard rumors that Lacey and Becky are going to be fighting tomorrow. Lacey has been scheduled for a title match. We'll see what goes on there. As far as everybody else is concerned, I'm not too sure. We'll have to tune in tomorrow and go from there. I kind of feel like Alexa Bliss is going to start to twist on Nikki. I think Nikki's gonna go back to being a face. And as far as like KO and Sammy, I think they're done with New Day. I think they're going to move forward. They put on a great show. They had a lot of good moves. I think KO and Sammy are really good together as a tag team. Ricochet and Samoa Joe, I don't think that's done yet. They didn't tease anything else. But it could be, because AJ Styles is scheduled to come back. AJ did confront him tonight, and basically said, I'm going to see you tomorrow. So we could possibly see an AJ Ricochet match, which is, I think is going to be absolutely killer, because those two could put on a hell of a show. I think Heavy Machinery's done for a while. I don't see them making a comeback on SmackDown. They may. Maybe not. I mean, considering the performance that they put on tonight, it's quite possible that they could keep the feud going just because of how good they did. So that is a possibility. Obviously, Drew and Roman aren't done. They're not done. It's going to keep going. It might twist into a Shane feud with Drew playing the Shane role. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But that's where I believe it's going to go. So I don't think we're going to get a lot of new storylines. I'm just kind of hoping that the ones that do start up are like Aleister Black for SmackDown, possibly Bray Wyatt for Raw. We'll see. So, you guys, thank you guys so much for tuning into the show and watching basically the new official Squared Circle program. So you'll be seeing on our YouTube channel the name changed a little bit to the Squared Circle, from J&J to the Squared Circle. I really didn't want to confuse too many people with the J&J, since it's just going to be one J here. So keep tuning in, subscribe, hit that notification bell for future shows. And you guys, since now it's just going to be pretty much me bringing in on this, I'm going to make the mass majority of these shows that I do live. So you guys can actually see it as it goes down right after the shows are going down. There's not going to be, an hour to 2 hour delay from the show. So you guys are going to be able to actually come in and see it exactly right after the show, just like tonight. I was only about 15-20 minutes after. So by all means, tune in, check out these live shows, watch any of our past shows if you want to catch up. Either way, you guys, thank you guys so much for coming in. I will see you guys tomorrow right after Raw. And you guys take care. Have a great day. Have a good one, guys. Bye.